Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Saturday's Rewritten here on YouTube, or if you're listening on podcast, your favorite podcast listening platform. Today we're going to dive into the college football, EA's college football trailer. It is finally here. College Football 26 is coming out soon, July 7th if you pre-order, July 10th on the regular drop. So we're going to react to the trailer, and then we're going to get into the info dump, essentially, that EA Sports released in tandem with this trailer. I'm excited, but before we do that, if you would just really quickly like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm a brand new channel. It'll help my channel grow. It'll also probably make me more noticeable with the algorithm. Here's hoping. And then also, if you're listening on podcast, if you'd leave me that 5-star review, that'd be greatly appreciated. All right, let's get into it without further ado. All right, let's get into it. Really quickly, I will pause here and there and commentate on things that I see. So right off the bat, the stadium lights being dimmed, you got the cell phone lights there in the corner there. Alabama did this against Georgia at least last year for that big game. That's a cool touch. They're already upping the presentation of the game, which last year's I thought was already good, but let's keep going.
There's something in the air.
Drone lights, that's a nice touch. Okay, I did see this part on Instagram where Clemson's coming off the bus in full pads. And people were commenting, what the heck? Why are they coming off the bus in full pads? That's so unrealistic. Welcome to college football, noob. Clemson does that as a tradition. It's one of the coolest traditions in college football where they come out off the bus in full pads. They touch Howard's Rock. They run down the hill into Death Valley. Look it up. It's really cool. Auburn. Horns. Oh, there's Steve Sarkisian. Let me rewind a sec. Steve Sarkisian, EA has announced that over 300 coaches, there he is, kind of, you can't tell very well, but over 300 coaches are going to be in this
Friday
game.
nights.
High school. Okay, so that was a big thing for people last year was the high school game.
From Friday nights.
Wasn't in it in Road to Glory. Well, now it's back. And really quickly, the fans. These fans look a lot better than what we saw in last year's game. If you get in College Football 25, the fans were not very good and would oftentimes glitch and phase through one another. The fans, yeah, it didn't look great. Neither did the cheerleaders and band members. A lot of that I heard was procedurally generated. You get the gist. Okay, there's the players running onto the field. You got the cheerleaders there and whatnot.
It's a Saturday night.
The hat ceremony, that's pretty cool.
Chapel Hill.
Again, this presentation just looks good. The lighting and whatnot, it makes it feel more like a big game you're about to step into, a lot more immersive. And by the way, I don't know about you guys, but it's very rare if you get night games in College Football 25. Very rare. So I hope maybe you get the chance to go in and edit the time for your games here and there. Not all of them have to be a night game, but a little bit more than usual would be good.
To Pasadena. It crackles down our spines.
Party. Okay, again, the fans look a little better based on this trailer. So much better. Even the pom-poms have a little bit of movement to them. College Football 25, the fans did not look great. So this is an improvement here. Okay. So they're adding more tradition. Oh, Ryan Day and James Franklin sightings.
Roars that remind our rivals.
Okay. And Sandman, that's awesome.
It's electric.
So, this doesn't give you chills. I mean, they're doing a good job with this trailer. Okay, so the animation aspect of the game, they're going to do EA always does the gameplay or the deep dive on the gameplay and whatnot. I'm curious to see all the new animations they've added. Sometimes the animations are frustrating, like if your quarterback spins out of a broken tackle. A lot of times in 25, They have to stumble forward for another 5 seconds, and by then another defender has come and wrapped you up. And hopefully, EA says the blocking's been addressed. We'll see.
It shocks our nerves and ignites a place where the ground shakes. But our pride doesn't.
So
Where our
a lot
coach,
of tradition,
scheme,
stuff I didn't even
playbook,
see last
and
year.
character are unlike any other.
Okay, that was kind of cool. How he reached for the end zone there to extend the ball. I wonder if that's going to be an animation. Maybe one of those quick time events where you tap A, kind of like you did in last year's game when you're trying to break a tackle.
There's something in the air. It builds us up, breaks them down, and gives the stadium a pulse.
Civil War.
Built on pride.
Akron. Again, Marcus Freeman in the game. Jeremiah Smith, Ohio State. Pretty smooth animation. Ryan Williams, cover athletes. We don't care about the college football points. Get out of here. The pre-order bundle, again, 3-day early access. So there you go, guys. That's the trailer right there. I don't know about you. I'm pretty excited. I think they did a great job with the trailer. Let's get into the info dump that EA had mentioned. All right, so here's EA's deep dive into college football 26. Hey, welcome back, college football fans, to the Campus Huddle, your home for news on EA Sports College Football 26. Before we get started, the entire team wants to start off by saying thank you. Today, we have a brief overview of the coming game modes, presentation features, gameplay updates, and more. Look for more information to be revealed this summer. Okay, so true college football gameplay. Let's see. Our vision for what it means to experience college football continues to be our wide-open, fast-paced gameplay that's anchored by a swath of foundational football features like stunts, twists, custom zones, improved blocking. Again, I touched on that earlier. Improved blocking is a big one for me. And coverage logic. Sometimes it's just really hard to stop people on defense. So if they've gone in and fixed the defense to where you can confidently get a stop here and there, I'm not saying that you want to have every defense be a lockdown defense and overcorrect to where you can't even move the ball. That's not what anybody wants. But just sometimes, like for example, if you had a 95 overall defense in Dynasty and the computer's still tearing you up, that would get pretty frustrating. Utilize dynamic substitutions for easier fatigue management on the field with additional upgrades coming to the wear and tear system. Overhauled archetypes to encompass the unique skill sets for every Saturday. Over 2,800 new plays, unique schemes like Rice's Modern Option, Penn State's Gadget heavy, thousands of players, and over 300 real-world coaches with true-to-life schemes. This is our most authentic, I feel like they always say that every year, though, authentic college football, authentic football experience if you're Madden, whatever. We'll see what they mean by that. Over 300 real-world coaches, so that is pretty cool. Suit up for Dan Lanning, compete against Kirby Smart, recruit as or against James Franklin, go toe-to-toe with current coaches who bring distinctive play styles to the field, strategize like they would with their new unique playbooks for a more authentic coaching experience. So there you go. There's Ryan Day with Ohio State. That is pretty cool, and hopefully that means you get more coach customization. The coaching customization in College Football 25 was basically non-existent. That was kind of frustrating how you essentially, you get a polo or a long sleeve tee, and then that was it. That was the customization. You did have a lot of head types and whatnot, but you couldn't get very close to what you look like or anything like that. No hats, no visors, no glasses. You couldn't, if you had to make yourself 400 pounds if you wanted to look more heavy set, just not a lot of stuff to play with there. Wear and tear everywhere. The advanced wear and tear system delivers more realism and is now fully customizable to fit your play style. Manage fatigue strategically and save your favorite playmakers for key moments with dynamic substitutions that allow you to rotate players in and out on the fly. No pause screen needed. Okay, I do like the sound of that. and maybe that means formation subs, I'm not sure. But the wear and tear system, I did like it, but at the same time, it was kind of unintuitive in that you would have a player who is obviously hampered with wear and tear, and he was at minus 15 speed, and yet he's still in the game as your starting running back or whatever. And I'm sitting there thinking, if you're minus 15 speed, why are you on the field? You can barely run, my guy. Get off the field, go to the bench, you're done for today. And then you have to manually pause the game, go to your depth chart, pull your running back out. It's not a big deal, but it is a quality of life thing that, would be really nice if that was in there. Foundational advancements. College Football 26 foundational football gameplay starts with improved coverage to give you confidence in shutting down your opponent, and improved blocking, thank you, to reward players' left stick skills between the tackles. The blocking in 25 is not very good. Pass blocking, it always feels like you have maybe 1 or 2 seconds tops, and sometimes even less if the other team has a great defensive line. Good luck. If you want a longer pass play, no can do, boss. Run blocking. If you run an inside zone, I've noticed in shotgun sets, you hand it off to the running back, you have a break downfield, and you'll have a free lineman often in the play running in front of you, and you think, oh, great, this could be a touchdown. And then the lineman just jogs downfield and ignores his blocking assignments. Hopefully they add a little bit smarter AI on that end. Home field advantage 2.0. Oh, before we get there, though, you can call different stunts, twists to optimize your pass rush, new custom zones to really dial in your coverage at the line of scrimmage, several new abilities that we can't wait to talk about in our gameplay deep dive. Again, they always release deep dive trailers later after the initial trailer release. Looking forward to that. So, Home Field 2.0. Experience enhanced stadium pulse effects, including a more intense camera shake, new heads-up display visuals, and clock distortion that simulates the high pressure of playing as a visitor in hostile territory. Rivalry games for college football. Rivalry games, the college football playoff, and other high-stakes matchups are now even more affected by stadium pulse. When you're on the road, use your confidence and composure to help counteract that rattling environment. Well, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool sounding at least. We'll see what it actually looks like in the game. But College Football 25, I already kind of like how intense it is. If you're a visitor going into, say, Death Valley at LSU or Clemson or, Penn State for a whiteout game, I want it to feel like I can't even audible. I want it to feel as though the play calling's hampered by that environment. So to see them putting an emphasis on that and making it even more intense, to me, that just makes it more immersive, and it's an overall win. We want you to immerse yourself, there you go, in unforgettable game day atmospheres with more electrifying sights, sounds, and traditions than ever before. Feel the energy of new situations and stadium-specific music, fight songs, and dynamic commentary. Dynamic commentary, that'll be interesting. We'll touch on that here in a bit, I think. Experience a new presentation that reflects the importance of each game for the context of your season. Saddle up in Stillwater, hoist the golden egg. I think that's Mississippi State and Ole Miss. Raise the sword as the king of turnovers at Coastal Carolina. We want to surround you with authentic, unrivaled school spirit so you always feel right at home. Next level game day. Feel the stadium shake as you discover more of your school's unique pageantry, traditions, and sounds. Unique PA tracks, including Metallica's Enter Sandman, heard that in the trailer, 160 school-specific chants, new mascots, and band music. So that all sounds great. There were moments I felt like where the stadium didn't react as satisfyingly as I was hoping. Like if you have a big bomb downfield to go up in the final minute of the game, sometimes the crowd reaction was almost a little underwhelming. I want more of a punch to it where the crowd just erupts into a roar and you just feel it in the game. So hopefully they're making efforts on that end. The PA system, hopefully they touch that up more. You can see in this picture here, I like the fireworks in the background. You got the scoreboard there. I wonder if maybe we'll see some adjustments to the scoreboard. In 25, it was just kind of for Tennessee, for example, it would just be the T flashing at you over and over again throughout the game. It's a nice feature. It was a step in the right direction, but come on, knock our socks off this year. But the lighting looks great. Broadcast and commentary, here we go. Experience new and dynamic commentary tailored by Kirk Herbstreit, Chris Fowler, Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, Desmond Howard, and Reese Davis as you make history on the field. Battling back after tough loss, back-to-back 400-yard performances, their expertise and insight adapt to your team's progress in Dynasty to help your players rise in road to glory. Okay, that's awesome. I saw Chris Fowler in one of his stories talk about how he just got done re-recording a ton of his lines, and that he is responding to the feedback that we were all giving, where I thought the commentators were pretty soft sometimes and didn't react with a lot of excitement. Chris Fowler specifically. Reese Davis, I thought, did a good job and put passion into it. And Chris Fowler's easily one of the best broadcasters in the game, no doubt. But in the video game, you would have a game-winning play, and he'd just be like, "And that's a touchdown." And I'm sitting there, what? Come on, Chris, give me something. So that's exciting that they're responding to feedback and giving us more play-by-play opportunity here. Show off your championship. We heard your feedback. That's pretty cool. We heard your feedback, and thanks to you, Trophy Room is back. Just the fact that they are responding to fan feedback, to customer feedback, and responding and putting it in the game, that's really cool. And I think a Trophy Room's a great addition. Garrett and I have been playing a Dynasty for, we're going on 15 to 20 seasons now, and there's nothing that we can go back to and look at our success throughout the year and compare against one another and, who has the most impressive Trophy Room? That's a really cool feature, and it says here that you can, share it with your friends, show off to your friends and rivals. So show how successful you really are. That's really cool. Good. Hats off to you there, EA. Focus on your coach and manager program in Dynasty, dominate online road to college football playoffs, compete in classic rivalries, and play now. And that's pretty cool too. In the old games in Play Now, you could put those rivalries on the screen, and you could learn about them a little bit. So you're getting a deeper dive here into the history of college football. I like that. Dynasty. So Dynasty for me is all I care about. I really only play Dynasty with my friends. That's it. And it's a blast. It's a blast to build up your team, build up your roster, recruit the guys you want, and see that fruit on the field and go up against your friends at big schools. It's really cool. So Dynasty is what I care about. Let's get into it. How you create your dynasty will now be more important than ever if you want to cement your legacy as one of the best coaches, assemble elite staff, upgrade your coaching abilities, and then lay it all out on the field. Navigate the now expanded and more unpredictable transfer portal, featuring thousands of players each year. That's a really cool feature. So the transfer portal in College Football 25, it was there, but not really at the same time. I mean, there would be some years in the transfer portal where Garrett and I, it's like maybe a handful of guys are interested, one or two, and that's it. And then some years, you don't get anybody. So thousands of players in the transfer portal, that sounds really cool. But it's also going to add the variable of keeping your roster together, which is realistic. It's what a lot of coaches are dealing with now in this day and age in college football. I just saw Dan Lanning jump into a pool with a 5-star recruit, and as they committed to Oregon, and now a week or so later, the commit, decommits. So that's cool if they're adding that in there. Now this is the big one: cross play. Dawson, I'm talking to you here. Crossplay is in. It now supports crossplay across Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 5. You'll now be able to run a 32-person online dynasty with friends, regardless of the platform. So I've been wanting to get my brother in a dynasty with Garrett and I for years, ever since 2025 came out for years. And now we have that opportunity. Dawson, you have no excuse. And there's other friends out there that we could now play with. So this just opens up more and more opportunity and more of a community aspect to it. Good job on that, EA, to respond quickly. Off topic, a game like, Halo, that used to be synonymous with couch co-op. And for years and years and years, fans have been begging for that. I'm getting off track here. But it's just cool. I say bring that up because it's cool to see EA listen for 1 year, and then boom, they automatically get this into the game. So props to you, EA. I know EA Madden sucks, but it seems like college football, they're actually responding. Okay, to use crossplay, you'll need an internet connection. That seems pretty standard for this day and age. Valid EA account and a platform account on your chosen platform. Crossplay is enabled by default in online dynasties, but can be turned off at any time in the Commissioner League settings. Okay, that's pretty cool. One last note before we see you at the Dynasty Deep Dive. Happy to announce that formation subs and protected opponents setting are coming. That is awesome. Formation subs, yes. Sometimes in the archetypes, they've mentioned the archetypes earlier, you get a blocking tight end, for example. You don't want to use him all the time because he's probably sucks at running routes in comparison to a possession or a vertical threat tight end. And so there's only certain packages and formations that you want to bring him in and then sub him out. But you don't want to continuously go into the depth chart every 5 seconds and sub the guy in. So having him come in specific formations and formation subs, huge get. Receiving running backs, same thing. Stuff like that. It just allows a lot more control into how exactly you want your team to look. So that's a win. It's quality of life update there. Protected opponents. I really like that one because sometimes in my dynasties with Garrett, let's say I'm coaching at Michigan in one, and really quickly before you pounce on me, Michigan sucked before I got there. I think they had dropped to like a 4-win season or something like that. So back off. I start like you do. I build a crappy school up and build them into a power, and then I make the jump to these programs. In any case, I'm at Michigan, and 1 year Ohio State isn't on my schedule. That can't happen. That the scheduling kind of was pretty mediocre in college football 25, and was pretty immersion breaking. At Texas 1 year, I didn't play Texas A&M. That can't happen. Shouldn't happen. You should have the opportunity to play your fellow league compatriots as well. Even if you're in the same conference, you should have the ability to go in and make it so you play each other. It should be an option. So hopefully they're opening up more opportunity to adjust your schedule in that way. But I do like the protected opponents one. That's a cool feature right there. Road to Glory. Road to Glory in college football 25 sucked, honestly. It was pretty bare bones. Not a whole lot to it. Not a lot of sandbox feel to it in that you had to run certain plays, and ultimately you could only run maybe 5 or 6 plays throughout the game because the audibles that are available, they only give you 3 choices. And even if your coach trust was really high by the end of the year, it didn't really let you make selections on what plays you wanted to run. And it was pretty frustrating and pretty handicapping. So I was done with Road to Glory by the end of the season. So, I don't know. Hopefully we see, that they continue to flesh that out. Here's what they say. It's time for you to begin your ultimate student athlete journey as part of the recruiting class in 2025. Choose 10 new archetypes from your rise to high school, recruit to Heisman glory, with every decision shaping how your career will look. Build your highlight tape and earn an offer from your dream school and make that decision in the famous hat ceremony. That's awesome that they added that in there. Rise in class rankings and secure scholarships before other recruits. That's kind of interesting to me. Is it going to be a lot harder to land at the school that you want? Along with top tier abilities available to reach your athlete, earn coach trust, build team chemistry, and navigate the competitive recruiting process. Commit early if you found the perfect fit, or decommit to find a better opportunity that comes your way. Again, that all sounds a lot better. You have different variable options in 2025. If you committed to a school, boom, you're there, you're locked in. So it's cool to see there's a little bit more variety being put into the game. Ultimate Team. I like how Ultimate Team only has this little section here. To me, that's a win. To me, that's EA listening to the fans of college football. By and large, I don't think a lot of college football fans care about Ultimate Team. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can correct me in the comments. I played it a little bit, but I didn't spend any money. And, I'm a Dynasty guy. So it's cool to see that, it's only got this little section here and everybody's not, going, oh my gosh, they're just going to push Ultimate Team. They didn't do it too much in 25. So let's hope that continues. Shout out to them. Team Builder. Don't worry, College Football 25 fans, you'll be able to import your custom teams from last year seamlessly, ensuring your favorite created teams can be brought over With new features in Team Builder, you can refine your team's details, explore enhanced roster editing options, allowing for greater control over your identity and legacy. Stay tuned for Dynasty Deep Dive to learn more about these features and how they'll elevate your gaming experience. I hope that with Team Builder, they should open up the stadium editor to where you can go in and I remember in one of the older games, the stadium editor, you had an 85,000 seat double bowl. You could choose which side the press box was on. You could choose a single bowl, 74,000 seat stadium. You had the horseshoe stadium at 69,000. You could really customize these stadiums and even where they're facing, I think, directionally. They allowed so much customization. And by the way, I think they should do that for the regular Dynasty too. Let's say you started at like Kennesaw State and you want to, as time goes on, upgrade your stadium. They should have a stadium upgrade section that over time, if you win championships, you can unlock certain upgrades. I'm just saying, EA, just a thought. But it's really cool to see team builders in here. And hopefully they can, we'll have to wait for the Dynasty deep dive, but hopefully you can add your favorite team in there or your created team in there. Your friend can come in and add a created team and you can all make your own rosters and teams and do battle in the same dynasty. I don't think that was a thing last year. I'm not sure. Also, a request, coach mode for Dynasty. You should be able to have just, Garrett and I had talked about this. I want to be able to just call plays and watch it play out. I want to recruit the players, manage my roster, and then call the plays and watch it play out. To me, that's pretty fun to do. I still like playing the game, no doubt, but just the ability to actually call plays and more like a game of chess, more like being more like an actual football coach. I think that should be something that they add in as well down the road. Don't know if it's going to be here. Maybe they'll talk about that coming up here in the coming weeks. But nonetheless, I am excited about College Football 26. I think College Football 25 was a solid start, but there were a lot of issues that need to be corrected, and it looks like they've already answered some of them for me. So, hats off to you there, EA. Can't wait to see what comes up next here for college football. And to you guys, thanks so much for tuning in.